Being a real sluggo.
Or a fuggo.
Padded Room Radio is back on the air, you motherfuckers. My name is Darian. I am back for another week of horror goodness, coming straight to your dirty, funky, wax-ridden ear holes. Jason Harrell is in the house.
I'm in his house.
The soothing sounds of Jason Harrell, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up with you, big guy?
Just suffering my way through work and fighting off potential spammers on your website.
Man, they are coming in hard and fast.
Coming hard and heavy.
Everybody wants to be a member of the Padded Room.
Apparently about 10,000 Russians.
And a lot of Nigerian princes.
Yes.
Also.
But we're swatting them away as much as we can.
They're still in there, though, somehow. I don't know. They keep... well, I guess we're just huge in Nigeria and Russia.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
huge
totally.
fan base.
That's what it is. They're Igor Georgievic and Prince Nahim.
All those guys that can't understand a word we're saying.
Yeah, of course. They love us. They love us, man.
What's new with you, man?
Not a thing. I'm exhausted. I've been partying too much lately, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's the other parents of the kids on Deacon's football team. Mm-hmm. He's the only white kid on the team, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's all Hispanic. And they love us. They love themselves some us. So we get invited to every single...
Gotta have the gratuitous gringos around.
You know what? Somebody's got to talk to the cops when they come. So it's probably us. They might need their FICO score looked at or something. I don't know. But we've been invited to every single birthday party, every graduation. Mm-hmm. Dude, these motherfuckers can drink.
They get down.
I need a vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They pull up, I roll in last week, they're like, oh, look out, white guy with a Modelo. It's going down, dude.
Yeah, they probably keep up with you, if not surpass you.
Oh, all these guys are like 10 years younger than me, too.
Oh, okay.
So that doesn't help at all. And as soon as I get a 1/4 of a beer in me,
one good Zima.
I naturally assume that I'm 25 again and
yeah.
can just be jumping off of buildings and stuff. It's a good time. My liver needs a break, man.
Yeah.
I need to have a cool down. Maybe some cranberry juice or something.
What do you own, your period?
What is it, your period?
Classic.
It's a good time though, man, and the food is always great.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's
for
the
real.
best part.
Oh yeah. They got the grill going. You can smell it as you're coming around the corner, pulling into the house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And if you need to get out of there quick, just call immigration. You're good to go.
I got my green card, motherfuckers. Shit, Jason. We got a regular horror show to get into here, amigo. We got horror news, listener
mail. Look at
mail.
you oblong some Espanol already.
I know. See? Dude, I got to take a break from these dudes. Let's do a little horror news there, man.
Let's roll.
If you're okay with that.
I'm okay.
All right.
Horror news.
What do you got there, big guy?
One very exciting little tidbit.
Oh, okay.
Coming June 20th, Walmart exclusive Skinamarink Steelbook.
Oh, boy. You going to buy it?
Fuck no.
Why not?
Because it stinks.
I know it stinks, but still, it's a steelbook.
It's actually a cool-looking steelbook, but it's a terrible movie.
It is. One argument could be made that it's not even a movie. It's just a collection of weird...
Static
and somebody dropping a camera periodically throughout a house.
I've got an old-ass TV right now that I could turn on and get the same effect.
Yep. Do just as much squinting as you would at a Bob Marley concert.
Did I just see a tit? Was that a nipple?
No, I thought... I'm going to go ahead and beat off to it anyway. We'll,
just to be safe.
We'll hash it out later, I suppose.
That's all the exciting news I have.
I might go ahead and grab a Skinamarink.
Yeah?
Maybe the special features will clear some shit up.
There you go.
Is it going to be worth... How much are they asking for something?
Oh, I didn't go that far.
You didn't even get that deep into it?
I can't be no more than $20. Well, maybe 25.
Steelbook, though. That's an easy extra.
$5.
I don't know. All right. I'm going to talk myself out of it before it comes out. I know I will. Venom 3 is getting a Halloween 2024 release date.
Never saw the second one.
It's not bad. They keep saying that these are Marvel horror movies. They're not.
Yeah.
It's the same wacky one-liners and gratuitous action sequences.
Yeah, it seemed a little too silly.
They always are.
Yeah.
You know, I think the closest thing Marvel has come to a horror movie is the New Mutants. And even still, that one was pretty wacky. Did you ever watch that one?
No, I was excited for it, but
Yep.
then I heard nothing but kind of people tearing it apart.
I think it got rushed after COVID because that was one of the first movies to hit theaters after the big COVID break. So I don't know. I even didn't think of it as a horror movie.
Did you see Morbius?
No, everybody told me not to.
Oh, man.
Is it that bad?
It's pretty bad.
Oh, man.
It's kind of worth watching.
Just because it's that bad?
It's pretty bad.
That doesn't
bode
well.
It's not a good sales pitch.
Not really. Hey, this is so bad. You got to check it out. Hey, smell my finger. It's gross. Trailers are up for a Spider Baby remake, Jason Harold.
A Spider Baby
Have you seen the original Spider Baby?
I have not. I did see a softcore porno on Skinamax called Spider Babe, where a chick could shoot webs out of her snatch.
Yeah, starring Misty Monday.
If you say so.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Misty Monday. She was quite the Skinamax name.
Was she?
Yeah, and she did a smattering of horror films. They were all low budget as shit.
Yeah.
But you could see her naked any which way
sure.
but right. She never went.
I would imagine.
She never went full on into full porn, unfortunately. I mean, she wasn't that. I never thought she was that attractive. Anyway, Spider Baby remake. You've probably seen the original. It's batshit crazy. It's about a family of lunatics. Lon Chaney Jr. plays like the haggard old dad that's trying to corral them and keep them out of trouble. Sid Haig was like the main lunatic.
Wow, how old was he?
He was time? Like 25, I think. Anyway, this is going to be a full moon release.
Oh boy,
Spider Baby remake.
Well, then it's certain to be just the greatest thing ever.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. What else we have here? Sanderson Sisters Cottage Lego set. There, Jason, coming, going to be available this summer.
Boy, they're getting their name attached to a lot of things.
Dude, I will never understand the appeal of those films. I still haven't seen the second one. I have no intention of doing so. Whatever you're into. It's nostalgia, I think. Predator versus Wolverine comic series coming from Marvel. Who do you think wins that fight? I think Wolverine.
Gotta go Predator.
I think Wolverine, man.
Nah.
How do you get past the healing factor?
A missile.
I think he's taken a missile before. I could be wrong. I don't
remember him blowing up into lots of pieces.
He might have. I don't know. Well, that's it's a good point, because if the Predator brings that tuna net thing that he has that just
kind of
dices you. Yeah, that could be a problem. Lastly, images are up for Peacock's Twisted Metal series, starring the insatiable, square-faced Neve Campbell.
Oh boy, Roberta Zadar herself.
She does not have a Robert Zedar face, sir. It looks interesting. I've played the games. It's car combat.
Yeah, so what's she just going to drive around a bunch?
I don't know.
Or does she have wheels and she's just going to battle other cars with her face?
Literally, that's what it is. They put wheels on her head and she just smashes them with that massive jaw of hers. It looks like some kind of a dystopian situation, and it's like a reality show.
Yeah.
And you go and you compete. Whoever they got like their mainstay for that whole video game franchise is a killer clown that drives an ice cream truck named Sweet Tooth. There's pictures of him. He looks just like he does in the video games.
Nice.
My favorite was always a guy called Mr. Grimm. He rode a motorcycle and had a Gatling gun and a skull head.
I don't remember him. I only remember the one.
The Sweet Tooth?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much... The rest of the characters were all interchangeable, but I always liked Mr. Grimm. So I'm hoping for a Mr. Grimm cameo.
Well, now you're going to have Chinzilla.
Mr. Chin.
Mrs. Chin.
Mrs. Chin. Damn it. I misgendered her. Possibly. I don't know. I don't know what she's up to.
You don't know what she's claiming.
That's true. Could be anything. Well, that's all we got on the horror news there, Chinzilla. How about some listener mail?
Listener mail.
Yeah, buddy. We got emails, voicemails. We got a crap ton of Terradome votes over on the website, from what I understand. Let's start things off with some emails. Jason Harrell, all the way from Sydney, Australia. Tim is in the house.
G'day, mate.
Subject line, stupid monsters that look like Darien. Oh, okay. What's up, fellas? Hope we are all well and happy this week. Let's do the meat hook. What was last week's meat hook? It was top 3 movies.
Ridiculous.
Stupid monsters.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Number 3, Belial. I wanted to go with something different since it was already brought up, but yeah, this monster is stupid and sounds stupid just like Darien. I think Tim and Tony have been hanging out on the side. These motherfuckers.
These sound like shared opinions.
Number 2, The Spider from It, 1990. Such a lackluster ending to a decent film. No one would be scared of this except Darien because he's a pussy. All right, Tim. Jesus.
Agreed.
Number 1, D. Wallace werewolf from The Howling. I fucking hate this design. It doesn't even look like a wolf, but more like a Shih Tzu thing. This is what Darien would look like if he was a werewolf. All right. Well, possibly, but with smaller boobs.
I always thought it was at least cute.
Yeah?
I mean, well, I'm not saying menacing. I'm not saying scary. I'm just saying cute.
Have you ever seen a movie called Late Phases?
Not sure.
Old lady werewolves still heavily made up with gaudy jewelry. That's about the dumbest shit
I think
werewolf.
I've heard you mention it.
It really pisses. It's because it's a pretty good show up to that point.
Yeah.
But then
You're not intimidated by werewolves with pearl necklaces?
Blanche Duvois werewolf? No, I am not. Terradome, welcome back. Okay, I'm taking Rawhead Rex. You guys made points that the film wasn't great, and I agree, but the monster rules, so I'm going Rexy for the win. That's it for me this week. Much love. P.S. Sorry for the hate, Darien, but you voted for Rose the Hat against Rawhead, so I have to blame someone. You know I love you, baby. Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure, Tim. I get it. That's 2 for Rawhead Rex. In the Rawhead Rex versus Rose the Hat Terradome matchup, Jason.
He really made sure to...
hammer the point home.
Yeah.
I think he voted like 14 times. Must have set an alarm on his phone or something. Let's get down to Southern California. Here comes Tony. Subject line, Darien is a turd.
Well, there we go.
I think he just has like a padded room email template, and he just fills in the blanks every week. Darien is a poopy face.
Darien Mad Lib.
Greetings, padded room. For Terradome, I vote Raw Dog Rex. Speaking of the Terradome, if it isn't too late and I can take someone not on the board, then I will take Robert the Tire from Rubber. Oh no, a mountain lion. Arrar, arrar. No, Tony, we are not putting Robert the Tire from Rubber on the fucking Terradome. Because I don't have that kind of writing skill, my friend. I'm sorry. I can do Jimmy Bones, I can do Raw Dog Rex, I cannot do a fucking tire. And by the way, you sons of bitches, I had to include tomatoes in a Terradome a couple years ago, and I have not forgotten about that. That's all we got on the email, amigo. Let's get over to some voicemails here, shall we? All right, Jables, let's kick things off in Anderson, Indiana. Here comes Coop Newcomb.
Oh, snap.
Hey, Darien.
What's
hey,
up,
Jason,
dude?
Maybe Buddy.
Maybe not.
Hope you guys are doing fine.
I'm okay.
Anyway, I thought I'd do a quick call before I go into work about the 3 on the meat hook.
Yeah.
You had like goofy-ass killers, goofy-looking characters.
Yeah.
So what I have is, my number 3 is Evil Dead 2, that large demon at the end. That
Looked like a forklift.
I don't know. Like a Jim Henson freaking meat wad.
Sure.
Number 2, I have the main bad guy in Demon Wind.
Yeah.
He looked pretty stupid.
Looked like somebody slathered it on
And
himself.
this one I never knew of until Darian covered this last year before. It was the Killer in Gutter Balls. Never even heard of that. I watched part of it. Most of it. That was all I'm saying is, if that's what ended up killing me, I would be so pissed off. Anyway.
Yeah.
You guys have a good night. Talk to you later.
Beautiful.
Later.
Thanks for calling in, Coop. Have you ever seen Gutter Balls, Jason?
Nope.
If you're ever in the need for a very bowling alley-centric slasher, all the kills are done with bowling implements. Mm-hmm. At one point, your slasher takes a pin and sharpens it down into a stake.
Yeah.
But it does also feature hardcore penetration.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the movie for you.
I'm sold.
I mean, do you want me to send you an Amazon link, or what do you need from me?
I'm seeing if they have a steelbook for it.
I'm sure they do somewhere, you son of a bitch. Right on, Coop. Thanks for calling in, big dog. How about we get down to our main man in Alabama? Here comes Alan.
Hello.
Padded room, what's
up,
up?
Alan?
Hope everybody's doing good. So, okay, Meat Hook.
Yeah.
Ridiculous horror movie creatures.
Yeah.
Number 3, this is a low-budget shot-on-video thing, but it's so silly. The zombie baby from this movie called Necrophiles.
Huh.
It is literally a baby doll somebody took and painted gray.
I love it.
Number 2, I'm going to go with The Stuff from the movie The Stuff. I don't like that stupid movie.
It's a dumb
and
fucking
number
movie.
1, and I was so disappointed, the bear from Cocaine Bear.
Really?
It looks like friggin' PlayStation.
Okay.
How hard is it to get a real bear or something? The CGI crap is,
all right.
It looked like PlayStation.
Okay.
All right, so Terradome.
Rose
I'm
the
going to
Hat.
take Rawhead Rex over Rose the Hat.
Rawhead Rex.
Rose the Hat is stupid, and she reminds me of one of my exes.
Oh, fair enough.
So, what have I been watching? I found a bunch of shot-on-video trash on Tubi.
Okay.
I've watched the L.A. AIDS Jabber. That's something to see.
Love it.
Necrophiles.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check
That's about a zombie that rapes people with a great, big, dangly zombie dong.
Nice.
Okay,
and then
perfect.
there's a zombie demon baby. And let's see what else. I watched this movie called Moonchild.
Oh.
And then I watched Tale from the Quadead Zone. All of these are on Tubi. They're all streaming. They're all shot on video, and they're all trash.
Okay,
but I loved them.
Loved
then
them.
I watched Renfield today. Holy crap, I loved that movie. That movie was so much fun.
Okay.
And, see, I got Terradome, I got Meat Hook. What am I looking at? That's it. Y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for calling in, Alan.
I just want to see a movie called Zombie Dong.
Zombie dong.
Yeah.
Gangly zombie dong. Ew. I'm sure there is
There's probably one.
a dildo out there that resembles. It's got ribs on it or something.
I'm sure.
He called back. He must have forgot something.
But wait, there's more. I forgot.
Oh.
Mr. Darian, would you be Devil?
I would be.
It seems like the Devil, but I know there was a couple of elevator movies that came out around that time.
Yeah, no, I went with
That's
Devil.
it. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Right on. Thanks for calling in, Alan. Did you ever see Devil,
Yeah.
Jason? What did you think of that?
It's pretty good.
It was supposed to be the start of a Shyamalan supernatural trilogy, but it tanked, so that was the end of that.
Yeah, I liked it.
hate
I
it
mean,
when that
I've obviously liked it enough to rewatch it a few times.
Sure. Let's get back to Southern California. We haven't heard from this guy in a while. It's Mr. Tom Hardy. Hey, yo!
Stranger. No.
Hey, padded room. My favorite degenerates
Pretty
this week.
good.
What's up, Big
I
Daddy?
do hope everyone's going well. And,
Hope you're doing well.
Everyone's hanging in there. Hey, sorry I haven't been able to get through.
It's all good.
been super busy, stupid shit going on. You know how it is.
Oh, I do.
But so let me get right into it.
Yeah.
I want to get in on the Terradome real quick, and I want
Okay.
to let you know that was not me that took Sam Kerr. I believe it may have been Tony that had taken him.
Tony wants it
I
higher.
was still debating between Avery Lauder and Mal Fader, from Witch Trap and Witchboard, respectively.
Yeah,
I couldn't quite make up my mind. I mean, I was shocked to see both of them in there.
They're actually neither one of them.
Yeah,
are
that was
there.
not me that took Sam Kerr. So
Yeah.
I believe it was Tony. But as far as the battles go, Rose the Hat and Rawhead Rex.
Rawhead Rex.
Yeah, put me down for Rawhead, man. Fuck the Hat. I don't know. I've always got impeccable logic, and I haven't seen the new Shining, so there you go. And I have seen Rawhead Rex, so...
Every time somebody votes for Rawhead Rex, Jason Harrell snaps
through
a
the
pencil
phone,
in half.
through email, through the website, through text. I don't think there's any possibility for any corruption.
No.
Good job, Darian.
No, we got this down.
Took that all right out of there.
Yeah, buddy.
On the educating department, are you that flick, The Devil, where they're stuck in the elevator and going up and down?
You got
Not
me, partner.
100%, but I think you might be.
You are correct.
The other thing I wanted to get mentioned real quick was the meat hooks for the worst
Dumb
creature
monsters.
designs, the critters or whatever the fuck you're going with. I'm going to have to say, for number 3, I'd have to say my beloved Creepazoid. Look nothing more than like a fucking rat, an oversized rat. In fact,
puppets.
If I can get the Creepazoid for this year's Terradome, put me in for the Creepazoid. That's a good way to go.
We're not doing that either.
The roster is already up.
The other one, you know what? I'm going to go with fucking Spookies.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's some really dumb shit.
There's some pretty shitty fucking critter
There's
designs.
a Spider Woman in
You
there.
got, like,
there's
the fart monsters, which are just, wearing, I don't know, like trash bags or whatever. And make fart sounds.
Yeah.
And then you have a Grim Reaper
that explodes.
That can't move, but it's like super scary, I guess. But
not really.
It's obvious that the fucking thing can't move.
Yeah.
So yeah, put me down for Spookies number 2.
Okay.
And then for number 1, I'd have to go with the Neon Maniacs. I know probably people are like, nah, the Neon Maniacs are fucking cool, and you're right.
They were the village people of horror
but
movies.
only like the first 2 or 3, like the Hangman's cool, the Samurai, the Beast.
GP, did you ever see Neon Maniacs, Jason?
I can't swear to it. I'm not sure.
It's like these monsters that come out of Golden Gate Park at night. Mm-hmm. They're like the village people. There's an army guy. There's a Native American in what would now be considered an offensive
I have
costume.
definitely not seen this.
There's a construction worker, I believe. There's like one scary-looking, deformed, like slasher dude. It's pretty ridiculous. I believe I have the steelbook over here somewhere.
I'm sure you do.
Tom Hardy called back, sir. GP.
Motherfucking.
You knew it was coming.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know where the fuck I got caught off there, but I'll just say my number 3
Neon
is going to be, or my top one, number 1, I guess, would be Neon Maniac.
You got it.
And I was trying to say, I think before I got cut off, I think some of them are really fucking good. Like the Hangman, I remember, the Samurai, and then there's like a Beast thing. But the other ones that are kind of like in the background that I guess you're not supposed to look like, they just look like somebody's wearing a fucking, like a Halloween mask, that they got from Kmart, and maybe just wearing a T-shirt. Or this one over here, he's got a button-up shirt. It's like,
this is
I don't know how to fucking
unemployed
say it,
guy.
It'd be like if like the village people kept going and then just started choosing like really random ass fucking professions. Like
Here's
I don't know, this guy,
depressed dad.
He's the referee, or he's the fucking cashier or some shit like that.
Nice.
So it just sucks because like the first few are pretty cool, but after that they just, I don't know, they ran out of fucking steam or whatever.
Sure.
But anyway, on the what are you looking at department? I'm sorry, I'm already droning on.
No,
I'm gonna get through
let's
this
hear it.
shit though. I did get to catch 2 flicks. One an old slasher called To All a Good Night.
Okay.
Typical fucking early 80s slasher.
Sounds familiar.
not bad. A lot of tit lurking to be done. So,
I like that part.
You got to give it extra points for that.
Sure.
But, nothing special, take it or leave it. I did get to catch another flick called After Party, which I think it's also out as Slasher Party.
Huh.
I gotta say, kind of a little screwy flick. Not terrible, but not great. And then I was kind of trying to know a little bit more about it, and I looked it up after watching it, and I guess it's all these, all the characters are like these YouTube influencers or Instagram or whatever.
Okay.
And, so I don't know. It kind of fucking made, not a great flick, just knowing that.
Right.
It kind of made it worse. But it does have a great pair of fucking tips for you tit lurkers out there.
Well, alrighty.
Anyway, hope all is well. Love you like family. Bye now.
Hey, bye-bye.
Love you too, Tom Hardy. Take care of yourself down there, sir. Right on. That's all we got on the listener mail, amigo. You got anything for Tony, Tim, Tom Hardy, Alan, or Coop Newcomb?
Thanks a lot, y'all.
Love you guys. I guess we'll go ahead and get ourselves into a movie here, Jason.
What's the matter, bro? You spooked? This place is off the hook.
There's nothing but a dark world of pain locked in that building.
The last owner on the lease was back in '79. Some cat named Jimmy Bones.
Jimmy Bones?
Yeah, why? You heard of him?
This is the story of Jimmy Bones, black as night, hard as stone.
It's the past, Patrick. It's dead.
Gold-plated dudes like the King of Siam got a switchblade loose and a diamond on his hand. There's a switchblade and there's a diamond.
I don't think your past is dead, Pop. It's alive. Jimmy Bones, was that you? We killed you. Are you looking to score?
Little brother. I got a natural high. A supernatural high.
7-9, remember that way back? But karma came back, now you got to deal with that. I want revenge, that gon' end, you thought I was gone? I'm back home, Jimmy Bones is on, so ain't no stopping this. I take it to the necropolis. It's a trip, ain't it?
Doggy dog, brother.
That's Bones from 2001. Jason Harrell got
it sure is
4.4 stars on IMDb. Directed by Ernest Dickerson, written by Adam Simon, stars the Snoop Dogg, Pam Grier, and Catherine Isabel, who I completely forgot was in this movie. It's got a hard R rating for reasons that we are all very well aware of. I remembered not liking this movie at all. Not because of any social subtext or anything like that. I just thought it was kind of dumb. Rewatching it last night, I actually kind of enjoyed it. Really, all it is, if you ask me, is just a black version of The Crow, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
With a little more on the horror side than the action side, but still, it's just Jimmy Bones is Eric Draven.
Yeah, with, the wrath of Jimmy Bones.
With a pimp walk, pretty much. So our movie starts off with what I think is the best part of the whole movie. This very cool kind of, I guess it's a flashback of, 1979, this a somewhat thriving black neighborhood in some unnamed city. And Jimmy Bones, the pimp, played by Snoop Dogg, is like making his way around the neighborhood. And everybody's happy to see him, and he's handing out dollar bills. And
dollar bills, y'all.
Kids are climbing up on him, and he's a very well-respected member of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes into his building, which I believe was an apartment building at the time, right? It's kind of hard to tell because there was like
on the outside it looked like one.
Kinda, but like when you walked in, there was like that big spiral staircase.
Yeah.
And in the flashbacks, there was like a reception area right underneath it.
Well, maybe he was set up in.
He had a receptionist.
Like a penthouse suite
sure.
type of deal.
But it's only like a 2-story building.
I
don't know either. Anyway, he goes up there, and once he goes inside, like the music gets very dour, and then you see people smoking drugs on the street, and then like the graffiti starts going up on the walls, and then like buildings start getting knocked down alongside this house. And then there's like a graffiti speed-up time-lapse thing, and the last frame is along the side of that house. It says Bones in these big, bright red letters. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
From there, we cut to a couple of white kids in this neighborhood looking to score some drugs.
Score some marijuana cigarettes.
Some marijuana cigarettes for their happening party or wherever they're going. They roll up and hook up with the local drug dealers, a couple of knuckleheads. And
would you sirs have some reefer?
Excuse me, fine gentlemen. May I purchase some green from you? The drug dealers are these two chuckleheads, and they're like, we ain't got the shit on us. Give us the money. So they give them the money, and then they send them around the corner to a loose brick on the old house. The white kids go back there, and they find the stash of weed, and they're like, oh, yeah, let's go. They're headed back to the car when some cops pull up, so they run inside the old house to get away from the cops. Now, the cops, it's like a detective and a young detective and like his old grizzled partner. Now, one of the biggest problems I had with this movie was this fat suit that they threw on the old grizzled partner. I see what they were going for, because clearly we're going to see a younger version of this guy here in a few minutes.
But you know what? I didn't even pay any mind to the
They just like slapped some Jell-O flabs on his face and had him say fuck a lot more and smoke cigarettes. I thought that was really stupid. But anyway,
these guys really want to crack down on pot smoking.
Just white kids. White kids are being oppressed in this neighborhood. So they run up there. The old fat cop is like, don't go in there. Nobody ever goes in there. I've been working this beat for 20 years. And then the other guy's like, oh, shit, all right. So they go out. The white kids are like, oh, we gave him the slip. Let's get out of here and get back to the party. And then we get a lot of Bram Stoker, Dracula, like shadow puppetry on the walls, which is fine. And then eventually they get scared and they go running out of the house. But then they stop on the porch to like catch their breath. And then one of the white kids get pulled back into the house and they're screaming in blood. And the other one is like trying to claw his way off the porch, and then he gets pulled back into the house. And we don't get to see what's pulling him in there or doing anything. But it's that's pretty much the start of the movie.
Yeah.
Right on.
Decent intro.
No, I'm fine with it. Scary stuff. Now we're going to cut to, I guess, maybe a couple weeks later. We've got a local performing act, I guess, called the Resurrection Brothers. And it's some kind of a DJ promotional team.
Mm-hmm.
They have a van. I guess they're a traveling duo
of mixologists.
That's what it is, except they don't bartend. They just play music.
No, mixing music.
Oh, okay.
The other mixologists.
All right, perfect. You can tell how urban I am. Some sort of traveling act, I believe, going to local talent shows.
They do something with beats.
I believe they have a record player. They have recently purchased a house, and they're looking to renovate it and turn it into a nightclub. They get in there. There's four of them. You have Patrick, Bill, Maurice, and I believe her name was Leah, played by Catherine Isabel. Now, I think three of them were supposed to be siblings. Patrick, Bill, and Leah. And then Maurice was just a hanger-on, I guess. But I don't know. But anyway, between the four of them, they are the Resurrection Brothers, and they've just purchased the building. Dirt cheap. They get in there. It looks exactly like Dracula's castle, and there's cobwebs in there. There's an elevator right in the middle, which is kind of weird because it's a 2-story house with a spiral staircase that goes right up. Maybe it's a handy...
It's ADA compliant.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe it's a handicap thing or something. I don't know. They're like, we got a sick deal. We're going to put the DJ booth up there. This is going to be the dance floor, and we're going to put some lighting, and we're going to do promotions, and it's going to be off the chain, yo! And they start kind of pooping around and looking, okay, and then they end up down in the basement where they hear something scratching. So they open the basement door, and this big black dog comes out. They're like, oh, shit. She decides to take the dog home with her. And then while they're down there, they find another like sub-basement door, and they open that up, and that's where they find a skeleton. And there's a diamond ring on one finger and a butterfly knife, Jason, laying around.
Well, that's clearly what's mentioned in the song, right?
Yeah, clearly. Clearly. Now, going back to our flashback of Snoop Dogg driving around the neighborhood in 1979, he had a butterfly knife that he was kind of twirling / fidgeting with as he was driving, or he was being driven around by his chauffeur. Very cool. So now this is when Maurice is like, oh yeah, now I remember. And there's like a nursery rhyme about Jimmy Bones.
And his butterfly knife.
And his switchblade, they kept calling it. Now, I'm not one to nitpick the weaponry of the movie, but it's clearly a butterfly knife. Yeah. And whoever wrote this little jingle clearly doesn't know the difference, Ernest Dickerson.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch! So they're like, oh, okay. Maurice decides he's going to take the diamond ring off of Bones' finger. So the whole finger comes off, of course, because it's just a skeleton. From there, we cut to them coming outside and like hanging around the neighborhood. There's a crazy old guy in like the building across the street, and he's like, "Hey, you kids, get out of here! Don't let that dog out!" And they're like, "Okay, crazy old guy," and the dog gets in the van and goes home with him. So Leah decides she's going to name the dog Bones because it's kind of fitting with where they found it and all that stuff. Very cool. Now, off the bat, Patrick, who's like the leader of this crew, doesn't want to tell their father about like the acquisition of the place or what happened or what their plan is. So I think he's wanting to surprise him, but their dad is kind of a hard ass.
Yes, he is.
A little bit. Probably rightfully so. So now we're going to cut back to the neighborhood where we're going to find Pam Grier, who still looks good, I think. Well, at least in 2001 she did. I don't know what she looks like now.
Probably a lot older.
And her screaming hot daughter. She plays a fucking fortune teller, I think. And her daughter, her tarot card reader.
Who, Pam Grier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her daughter lives with her, but her daughter is played by Bianca Lawson. And I don't know if she's appeared topless in any movies, but I'm going to investigate that later on after my wife goes to
I'm
sleep.
I'm sure you will.
They're like walking around, and they see the people going in and out of the house, and they're like, oh, shit, girl, what's going on? Oh, the house just got bought by somebody. What? No, that can't be. Now there's like scuttlebutt going around the neighborhood about the
Not
house.
scuttlebutt.
It's scuttlebutt,
Oh,
Jason.
no.
You gotta watch out for scuttlebutt.
Damn urban scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt, I tell you. In the first degree. Oh, shit, somebody bought the house. They can't. It's impossible. They couldn't have bought the house. But now they're seeing like the van pull up and people are doing work in there. I think her name was Cynthia. Was the daughter. She's walking by, and now we're going to get our love story between Cynthia and Patrick because Cynthia stops to talk to Patrick, and Patrick is being a gentleman, and he's like, hey, we bought the place. We're going to try to fix this community and fix this building and bring life back to it. They get it in working order, and they start living in the house, which I thought was kind of weird. I mean, first off, if it's zoned for commercial and you've got a commercial permit on it, I don't think you can have like residential living space upstairs.
This is where you're getting.
I'm just spitballing here.
This is what you're scrutinizing.
The
zoning rights of the building.
And the butterfly knife, Jason. But anyway, they're like living there now, and now they're all starting to have these nightmares at night about like tar people coming out of the walls and like reaching out at them again.
Hey,
that was not an ethnic slur.
Let's tone it down.
It looked like they were covered in tar, sir. And again, we're going back to Bram Stoker's Dracula a little bit here. And then there's the dog. The dog shows up periodically. We get like a predator cam situation that like floats through the house.
Yeah, kind of Evil Dead.
Very Night of the Demons, I found. But it's fine. This love story is kind of going on. Now it's almost opening night. And Patrick is going to break the news to Dad that he's bought this building using his own money, and he's opening it up as a club, and he's striking out on his own, and he thinks his dad is going to be so proud of him. So he takes his dad down to the shitty side of town, and apparently this is where the neighborhood that their dad came out of.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, what are we doing down? This is a bad neighborhood. We got to get up out of here. He's like, no, I want to show you something. You're going to be so proud. So he takes him to the club. He's like, Dad, I just bought this building. I'm going to open it as a club. Me and Leah and Maurice and Bill. This is gonna be our starting business. And he's like, you can't buy this building. You take it back, motherfucker. And then he's like, no, I'm doing it. We find out that it was Dad's company, who I guess he's like some kind of real estate magnate or something now, that owns the building. And Patrick used like a fake something or other to buy it off the company for dirt cheap.
Yeah, I think he did it through like a company name or something.
Yeah, something. He went like in the back door to get the building, and Dad's really pissed off. And this is where we're going to get our more elaborate exculpatory flashback of what really happened. So we're going to go back to 1979, Jason Harrell.
When shit was fly.
And I was a year old. How do you like that? We're going to go back to that opening flashback of Jimmy Bones walking through the neighborhood. We're going to find out that Pam Grier was his girlfriend at the time. You can't make Snoop Dogg and Pam Grier appear to be the same age. You can't. I wish you could, but you can't. And that's the other thing. We've got some other elements here, and none of them appear to have aged a single day. Their haircuts have changed. Mm-hmm. For example, the now local crime boss, a guy by the name of Eddie Mack, who runs the two knuckleheads that sold drugs to the white guys, he now wears a hairnet, looks exactly the same as he did in 1979. The only change is that the white cop put on about 100 pounds. Yeah. And I think it was all in his jowls.
It's him sans jowls.
It's the big flapping jowls, Jason. Very distracting. Anyway, it's 1979. Jimmy Bones is getting his palm read by Pam Grier. And she's like, oh, Jimmy, there's a line going across your lifeline. You got to be careful tonight. And he's like, no, baby, I'm going to come back and stroke your neck some. And she's like, no, you got to be careful. That's what he said, man.
He actually said stroke your neck.
He said, I'll be touching your neck later. That's what he said. She's like, no, be careful. And then his chauffeur, the big crazy bald guy, he goes by the name Shotgun, drives him back to his apartment building, I guess, where they are met. And there's even a guy that runs the elevator. What do you call those? Bellhops? But it only goes...
Elevator operator.
Elevator operator. It just goes up one floor, and then that's it.
Yeah. Job well done.
He tips everybody, Jimmy Bones. He's a very generous man. He gets up there, and there's some guys waiting for him in his palatial penthouse suite or whatever it is. And Jimmy's like, no, baby, let me get into my bathrobe. So he gets into his...
Before I stroke your neck.
He gets into his bathrobe, comes out, and Eddie Mack is there. What was his name? Jeremiah, who is the boy's dad now. And then we have the now skinny white cop, because it was 1979. And they've got a business proposition for Jimmy Bones. They basically want to start selling crack in the neighborhood. And Jimmy says, no, man, that's not for my people. And they're like, oh, okay. And then Eddie Mack and the cop both pull guns on Jimmy, and they make him do a hit of crack. So Jimmy takes a hit, and he's like staggering around, but then he pulls the butterfly knife and tries to take a slash at the cop, and then, of course, they just all light up and kill Jimmy Bones. They shoot him, and then to ensure everybody's silence on the deal, they make everybody present stab Jimmy Bones once, including Pam Grier.
Yeah.
So his chauffeur, Shotgun, stabbed him. Eddie Mack stabbed him. Jeremiah stabbed him. The cop stabbed him. And then they made Pam Grier stab him also.
Yeah, these people's loyalty stinks.
I mean, really? That's all it took?
That's all it took.
All right, whatever. Now, apparently from there, Jeremiah used the money that he made off the drug deal and became this real estate magnate. Good for him. Married a white woman and had these kids, these DJ company kids. Shotgun just moved across the street and now is perched.
Just yells at people.
Yells at people to stay out of that house. Pam Grier has a daughter. We can kind of do the math on how that happened. And it opened a fortune-telling shop and stayed in the neighborhood. Eddie Mack is now the big crime boss there in the neighborhood. And the cop, Lupovich, just put on 100 pounds and really doesn't
did nothing else with his life.
Just turned to comfort food, I think, to help him cope. And that brings us back to present day, and now we know the story of Jimmy Bones. Now it's opening night at whatever this nightclub is. It had a name, but it didn't make any sense to me. It was like...
I don't recall it.
BNE2 or something like that?
Sure.
I don't remember. They got the club pumping. They got the lights. The music's going on. The dog is walking around eating. It's got like dog food, but I guess the dog just has free range of the nightclub.
Yeah.
So every
VIP pass.
Totally. Even to the champagne room. Get himself a little doggy lap dance. Red Rocket. Anytime the dog eats meat, the skeleton in the basement gets a little extra like flesh and bone on it. The dog this time turns into, it's like it comes downstairs and then it's walking through the dance floor. Nobody notices it, apparently. And then immediately, bang, changes into a smoking hot chick. She goes and gives Maurice the fuck me eyes. Maurice is at the DJ booth, and he takes his cowboy hat off.
He is quick to bail.
He's like, I gotta go. And then he follows her upstairs into a bedroom, and then she turns back into the dog and eats Maurice, which gives the skeleton in the basement all the meat on its bones, and it's now up and walking around.
Yeah, very Hellraiser.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, excellent. Unfortunately, the dog then, Bill, the other DJ, is like, hey, man, it's your turn to DJ. So he goes up after Maurice, or actually he sends Patrick up after Maurice. Patrick's banging on the door. Hey, put your pants on. Goes in there, finds Maurice's dead body. He's like, oh, shit. And then the dog just vomits like a rain of maggots all over Patrick.
Yeah, a whole rain.
I thought that was pretty cool. Now, because this happened upstairs, all the maggots are doing like a maggot rain down on the dance floor. There's people eating sandwiches down there. Who the fuck takes a sandwich to a nightclub?
Nothing says proper club night like a good ham and cheese.
I was going to say club sandwich. That is bad humor, and I apologize.
I loved it.
People are like, oh, shit, it's fucking... So they're all like freaking out. There's chaos and pandemonium on the dance floor, and then that's when Snoop Dogg actually fully materializes. I think he blew out the pilot light on like a furnace or something, because he was like in front of a bunch of flames, and then he goes... Phew, and they all go out, but then something else catches on fire, and we get a big explosion in the nightclub, and the whole place is on fire now.
Yeah, this place was open, 2
hours? Yeah, tops. Apparently the building inspector never made it through there. So now we get like this big climactic scene of all the neighborhood scrums coming and hanging out, and we get like Snoop Dogg with the trench coat and the top, or fedora, I guess, walking towards the door through the flames, and that's when him and Pam Grier make eye contact. Jimmy Bones. Oh, shit.
Scary you need stuff. To lick my neck, Jimmy Bones.
You said you was going to stroke my neck. So that's actually pretty cool. I thought that was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Really, one of the only drawback of this movie is that it was made in 2001. And it's because of that, it suffers from a lot of 2001 lighting. For some reason, the early 2000s horror movies always had like these bizarro green tints to them all the time. And just weird colored lighting all over the place. This is a prime example of that. So he kind of vaporizes with the smoke. And then Patrick and Bill and Leah make it out. And... what's her name there? Cynthia also. And this is when we get the big spiel from Cynthia about how my mama said there's two worlds, and there's two cities, and there's two streets, and there's a positive street and a negative street. And
it's the upside down.
Well, basically, yes, but it makes less sense when she explains it somehow. I don't know why. but sometimes they cross over each other, and that's how shit like this happens. Anyway, now Jimmy Bones is out, and Patrick and the rest of the DJ guys are like, we got to get home, because they got like the scoop from Cynthia's mom about Jeremiah, their dad, and what really happened. So, oh shit, he's going after Dad. So they go hauling ass to the house, which apparently is on the nice side of town, which is quite a ways away. Back at the shadier neighborhood, Jimmy Bones is out and he's on the loose. His first visit is to Shotgun, who plays the scaredest African American. Did you see how terrified he was in this scene?
Much terror.
Oh my God. Jimmy Bones just pops up behind him, doesn't say anything, and he just starts and then finally Jimmy's like, hey man. So he turns around, Jimmy, I'm sorry, wasn't he was gonna kill me too, man. And he's like, you could have died with me, brah. You could have at least died trying.
I'm going to need you to ethnic up this accent of yours little bit more.
I'm not very good at this. But it's not an ethnic accent. It's a Snoop Dogg accent.
Oh, is that what it was?
Big difference.
Okay.
So to make it easy, Jimmy just slits his throat with the butterfly knife.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, it's all over, baby. All debts are paid. And then he walks out. Now he's walking down the street. His next visit, he was on his way to see Eddie Mack and kill him, but those two knucklehead drug dealers pop up. And they're like, shit, why don't you get up out that jacket, son? And he's like, I'm on a supernatural high. And then I don't know what he does, but he like flings his jacket like a cape, and then two perfect human blood splatters hit the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
I liked it.
Did he vaporize them?
Sure.
Sure. He microwaved them. That's what happened. And then from there, he actually makes it to Eddie Mack, who is on the point of nailing his blonde bimbo on a pool table, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We do get to see her breast for a second, but then she vanishes and gets put into a trash can, white trash, which I thought was kind of fun.
Sure.
And then Snoop Dogg pops out, and Eddie Mack's like, we killed you! And he starts shooting at him with his guns, but of course, Snoop Dogg is the crow, so he just stands there. And then he cuts off Eddie Mack's head, but that doesn't kill Eddie Mack. He's still trapped in his head. So now Snoop is walking around with Eddie Mack's
head or lantern,
still talking, shit-talking head, and he's like, come on, man, what you doing with my head, man?
Everybody loves a jive-talking jack-o'-lantern.
Jacko head. He's like, I'm just using this to transport your soul, fool. And then he's walking around, and then I think his next stop was to the cop, right? He uses Eddie Mack's head to make a bogus phone call, because Eddie Mack and the fat cop were still in business. Like, he was paying the cop to, turn a blind eye to the drugs and stuff. Mm-hmm. He tells the cop to meet him, like, in some random back room with a lot of piping. And again, with the red and green lights to fuck everything up. And then Snoop Dogg pops up there and basically cuts the head off the cop also. And now we're going to cut across town to the nice part of town where Patrick and the DJ crew are getting to his house. He's like, where's Dad? Where's Dad? We got to get him. Unfortunately, Jimmy Bones gets to Dad first. And he just shows up in his office. And he's like, how'd you get in here? And he's like, that's the first question you're going to ask me is how I got in here? I've been dead for 20 years. We don't really get to see what happens after that, except that Jimmy Bones and Dad disappear through an open window and then end up, I guess, back in the basement of the house, right? Because
is that where
it's in that weird chamber with all the tar people, and they're all... So, you know what I'm talking about.
What? They
look like they're covered in tar. They could very easily be Caucasians.
Oh, whoa. The feathers, too?
So he's like, you going to kill me? I was just trying to get my... And Jimmy Bones is like, man, we were 50-50 partners. Why did you kill me? He's like, I wanted it all, Jimmy, just like you. You would have done the same to me. And he's like, no, man. And then he picks him up. He's got the two heads there with him, too, also, the cop and the Eddie Mack, and he just sticks them into the tar walls, And then he takes Jeremiah and sticks him into the tar wall, but then pulls him back out. Mm-hmm. He's like, that's fun, isn't it? does it a few more times. Eventually, he just lets him go in there. We get kind of like a quick snapshot of what's happening on the other side of the tar wall.
Yeah.
It's like a
purgatory kind of situation.
Kind of like a mosh pit, but everybody's covered in Vaseline and... Right?
Now you're just making it erotic.
I mean, I don't want to turn you on any more than I already have, Mr. Harrell. But it's pretty nasty in there, and it looks pretty... I'm not interested in going there.
No?
But that is about the time the kids make it back to the house. Now, somehow, beneath the basement, we find is also like a hidden door which leads to some catacombs. They go down there expecting to find Jimmy Bones or their dad. Somehow they end up in the further, or the upside down, or whatever you want to call it, which I thought was kind of silly. Everything's exactly the same, except now it has like a pink tint to it.
Yeah, very much.
Which I thought was kind of dumb.
Yeah, real heavy tinted.
Cynthia's like, ooh, we in the other house now, because this is the other side of the reality, or whatever. While that's going on, Jimmy Bones has pretty much abandoned Jeremiah to his fate amongst the tar people and goes back and gets Pam Grier. It brings her into the house. She has made the discovery that somehow his soul is connected to his blood, which was on her dress the night that everybody stabbed him and was buried with him down in the basement all that time.
Like some kind of Monica Lewinsky thing.
Yeah, you got to get the semen off the cigar.
You got to get that stain out.
Otherwise, you're going to indict a president, and that's going to be uncomfortable. So they're trying to she sold the kids on that. They're trying to get to the dress in the sub-basement to burn it and thus set Jimmy Bones free and rid them of this. Once they get to the pink-tinted version, Bill gets pulled in, like just randomly, to the tar world, and he's gone now. And then I guess the elevator is in the further also, because they have to jump. So they get down there, and they find Jimmy Bones and Pam Grier are down there, and they've got like a whole, again, very Bram Stoker's Dracula-esque with like thousands of candles. And he's stroking her neck just like he promised he would.
I told you I'd stroke your neck, honey.
Oh, baby. And this is, of course, where we come to the realization that Jimmy is Cynthia's father. Okay. We kind of...
Who saw that coming?
We could kind of do the math on that one. Make a long story short, Patrick tries to attack Jimmy. Jimmy goes full Dracula and now has like the feral-looking skeleton face. Mm-hmm. Puts a pretty good beat down on Patrick. While all that's going on, Pam Grier was like, I gotta burn the dress, but she's wearing the dress now, so she just lights herself on fire. Jimmy's like, no! And then he runs up.
Much easier than taking it off and throwing it in.
No way. Or maybe even some water or something, I don't know. Jimmy runs up and grabs her, and he holds her, and then they both catch on fire. And then, like, the whole place starts crumbling around them, but Cynthia and Patrick manage to get out by jumping down the elevator shaft, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but somehow they end up back in the real world, and then they run out of the building, and then the rest of the place collapses, and that's pretty much the end of your movie, except we get a very dumb ending of Cynthia coughing up maggots at the end, and she's like, I told you I'm a predator, or something like that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, at the very end. Oh. Like, they're outside, and Patrick's like, oh my God, are you okay? And then Cynthia, like, gives him a scowl, and then there's, like, maggots coming out of her mouth, and she says something, but I forget what it was. It's a dark side, something, I don't know. And that is the end of your movie there, Mr. Harrell.
It is.
What did you think of Bones?
I am surprised that I liked it as much as I did.
I liked it much more this time than I did the first time.
I never watched it until this. No, actually we watched it like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I was kind of happy to talk about it coming up on this. I thought it was going to be completely stupid. I thought it was going to be just another kind of urban comedy horror.
Sure.
But
there were a couple chuckles in it, I thought.
But it's very light on the comedy stuff.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, this is a straight horror movie.
So I read that we're probably never going to see it, but the original cut of the film was supposed to be more in the vein of a like a Universal monster movie where it was very suspenseful building up. We weren't even going to see Snoop Dogg until the third act. But the studio wanted Dickerson to put together a more like structured like horror film from early 2000s.
Yeah,
so
and
that's
they
what we
probably
ended up
wanted
getting.
to capitalize on his screen time too.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, they're cutting him a hefty check, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah. Snoop Dogg is not an actor.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination.
He's basically playing Snoop Dogg in this movie.
But, I mean, it was perfectly fine. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than a lot of shit I suffer through.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know what kind of praise that is, but...
I remembered really not liking this movie very much at all the first time I saw it. I still wouldn't say it's a good movie. I'd say it's fine. It's watchable.
Yeah.
It suffers from that early 2000s horror movie formula where you had to be very lighthearted, some T&A in there just cause, but all with this weird lighting and heavy doses of CGI, which I don't think were necessary. Like when we go into Predator Cam and we start floating around, that's kind of silly. But
it was ambitious.
It was.
I mean, given what it was, you wouldn't expect that much ambition in it.
No.
I think it could have been a lot. I think it could have been just more paint by the numbers, formulaic. But it seemed like they at least like really tried.
Sure, I would have been much happier if they had just kept Jimmy Bones a straight villain. Mm-hmm. Like he was the one trying to bring drugs into the neighborhood, and they killed him to keep him out.
And it is kind of the unfortunate thing. He was likable.
That's true. That's true. And that's when most horror franchises fail, is when we start rooting for the bad guy.
Yeah.
Which I feel like we were kind of doing from the word go in this one. Right on, man. It's watchable. I rented it for $3 on Amazon Prime. Where did you get it?
Got it out of the stack of 7,000 DVDs that we bought.
Well, it just paid for itself, Jason.
It did.
You watched one of them. Good job. Jason, let's take us a little break, amigo.
Let's do.
Kill 'em all, this is
inmates. If you like what you hear, head over to the Padded Room Facebook group and support us through the Patreon link with a small monthly donation. Check out the T-Villain link at paddedroom.podbean.com and grab some t-shirts. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
And we're back, Jason Harrell.
Yeah, boy.
Would you be interested in starting a traveling DJ ensemble with me?
I would love to.
Excellent. Do you know anything about DJing?
It uses records occasionally.
And you got to scratch them up, right?
But we could probably just connect like an iPod
That's
to
all
a speaker.
You need. Yeah. Well, EDM, right? You just put together a playlist.
Put your shuffle.
I got one of those Bluetooth speakers. Bang.
I think we could pull it off.
We need a van.
We do need a van.
Luckily,
I've got one.
Oh, you have a van. Yeah,
perfect. Got the blacked out windows.
Excellent.
It says free candy on the side.
I'm going to line up some gigs for us and our iPods.
Nice.
Right on, man. You ready to get into this week's Meat Hook, amigo?
Let's roll.
Let's do it.
Three on a meat hook.
This week's Meat Hook. Top 3 movies we thought we would hate but ended up liking.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, hit me with number 3.
My number 3, a little film called Dash Cam.
Okay.
Had a lot of hate.
Yeah.
Did not think I was going to like this. Mm-hmm. Everybody was so put off by the lead actress, but I really love this movie.
I like it a lot too. The only reason it didn't make my list is because I went into it completely blind.
Mm-hmm.
I picked it randomly off of whatever streaming service it was on, and look at this crazy bitch.
Yeah, I had heard a lot of negative buzz, so my expectations were very low.
Right on.
What you got?
My number 3 is a movie that is a bit polarizing. It's absolutely ridiculous. It was made for the specific it was made as an FU to the German Film Board.
Okay.
It's a film by the title of Necromantic
mm-hmm.
by Jordan Buckwright. Have you ever seen it?
I think I started it and did not get through it.
Okay. Basically, it has to do with one young lady's obsession with fucking a dead guy
mm-hmm.
while she's in an active and committed relationship. It's absolutely disgusting.
There's a couple of sequels to that, isn't there?
There's one.
Okay.
And it's just as dumb. For as much as, it's just gratuitous gore and sex.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some moments in there, like I couldn't help but identify with her boyfriend.
The dead guy?
No, the living guy. The dead guy, he's trying to get her off the dead guy, and she just can't stop fucking the dead guy as he's rotting away.
Perpetual hard-on.
That's what I'm saying, It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I liked it. There's some weird animal stuff that goes on. It's like stock footage from like a mink processing plant or something like that. It's pretty gnarly. It
sounds like a real hoot.
Wildly unnecessary, but the story in and of itself I thought was, well shot, if nothing else.
Yeah?
Yeah, Necromantic.
Nice. Sounds delightful.
I've got the Steelbook if you want to borrow it, sir. How about number 2?
Sitting right beside Serbian film.
That's right.
Shit, that should have made the list. My number 2, You're Next.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that after seeing it for the first time, we fucking hated this movie.
I remember that.
And then fast forward, however long it took me to rewatch it, give it another whirl. Man, I love this movie.
Yeah.
I really love this movie
it's
now.
It's a good show, yeah.
Number 2.
My number 2, similar situation to you and You're Next. It's Dracula 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this in the theaters when it first came out. And again, it's got that 2000 horror movie formula. All the bananas lighting, the ridiculous characters. Nothing really makes a whole lot of sense about the movie. But rewatching it, I don't know, probably 5-6 years ago, it's actually not that bad. It's got Gerard Butler as Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has 2 lines in the whole movie. Rest is just him walking around making chicks swoon.
And me.
And Jason, of course. It's got a kick-ass soundtrack. I'm going to say it's not good, but it's not nearly as bad as I remember. And now it's watchable. I kind of watch it with a grain of salt in a weird way.
Is this the one with James Woods?
No, you're thinking of vampires.
Okay, how about John Bon Blowjobby?
John Bon Blowjobby was in the sequel to Vampires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Very
I
loose.
Definitely have not seen it.
Very loose connection between those two movies, by the way.
Okay. My number one, Dr. Sleep.
Okay. Why didn't you think you'd like it? Because you hated The Shining so much?
Because of my disdain for The Shining.
Wow. You are not going to let go of The Shining.
It's not that I have a disdain for it. It's just that it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just sets such a low bar with me that I had no reason to think that this would be anything exciting.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite horror movies to rewatch.
Sure.
So it's good stuff.
Right on. My number one is a movie that I don't even understand why I like so much.
I could say that to about half of the movies you watch.
Probably, but I don't know why this one struck such a chord with me that I had to go out and buy a physical copy. It got like a 2-point-something on IMDb.
Okay.
I'm talking, of course, about my weakness, my deep desire.
It's about the bats.
No, the bats.
The
roost?
The roost.
Oh,
yeah.
no. I knew I was going to like this one. This one snuck up on me. It's a Ouija board movie called I Am Zozo.
No, okay.
And it's, I think everybody I've made watch it has reported back that it's dog shit. I love it. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, I never tried watching it. I do remember you texting me and saying, if you can make any sense out of this movie, that I would be doing good.
Yeah. It's basically some kids go to it's Halloween night. They go to an island where one of the kids' dad has a cabin, and they fuck around with a Ouija board, and it basically drives them insane.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
That's I love it.
That sounds fine.
It's like I think it's the atmosphere of the movie that I like so much. There's like no score to it. It's shot all on actual film, no digital anything.
Yeah.
It's very drab. It's like filmed up in the Pacific Northwest somewhere, and it's just these four kids, just kind of awkwardly, sort of half-ass partying. But then the Ouija board comes out, and they start seeing things, and it's nothing we haven't seen before. But for some reason, this one seems to work for me. Couldn't tell you why.
Okay.
That's all I got,
It should be our immersion therapy.
I've already made everybody watch it. They just yell at me afterwards.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let me give you Sarah's rundown
I
real
would love
quick.
to hear it.
You always have something negative to say about this movie. Her number 3, Hell House LLC.
Okay, I'm going to abstain.
I don't know what your problem is with this movie.
It's just such a fucking formulaic found footage. It's got some creepy moments.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
But most of them don't.
Some of them do at some point. You gotta look for them. There's somebody standing in the hallway or whatever. Skinamarink, yeah.
Her number 2, Christine.
Okay, that one gets a lot of hate. I don't understand why.
She didn't know anything about it.
Okay,
but she is very surprised at how much she really likes this movie because it is kind of a slow. There's a lot of slow moments in that movie.
A lot of teen drama.
And how many haunted car movies do it well? Very few.
Right.
So she had no reason to expect it would be good. But dude, Christine's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I like it.
And her number 1 is the It remake.
Okay.
And that's kind of the same justification as You're Next. After she and I both watched the original It and hated it, she had no reason to think she'd like the remake. But it's awesome.
I like it. I probably like the first one better than the second one.
Oh, substantially.
Yeah. The kids' part is always better than the adults' part. Even in the 1990 version, I felt like. Right on, man. That is your meat hook for the weekend, mates. It's movies that you thought you were going to hate, but ended up not hating as much as you thought. Let us know on thepaddedroompodcast.com. Click the contact link there. That'll shoot us an email. You can also click the 3 on the meat hook link. That'll shoot us the exact same email. Or you call us on the mental health hotline at area code 775-387-0275. In the meantime, Jason, it is fight time.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in. I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy. I'll kill you all. My worst dream come true.
6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, with blackish eyes, the devil's eyes.
Welcome to the Terradome.
Let's do it.
First, last week's winners. Out of the Asylum Conference Round 1, we had Rawhead Rex versus Rose the Hat.
Yeah, boy.
Rose dug deep but could not find a mind inside the creature to attack. It was as if it were made of pure emotion and there was no soul at all. Then claws found flesh and blood began to flow. Rose began to cycle rapidly, and then the end came quickly. With a vote of 16-6, Jason Harrell.
Oh, so unjust.
Rawhead Rex advances over Rose the Hat.
Bull crap.
People love Rawhead Rex, Raw Dog Rex, man. It's not a very good movie, but they just love that fucking monster because he's such a horse-headed fucking over-the-top fang beast, you know?
Fang beast.
It's what he is. He's a horse with fangs, and he could play for the Raiders probably or something. I don't know. All righty. Congratulations, Rawhead Rex. Let's take a look at this week's matchup, shall we?
Oh, let's.
We are in the Asylum Conference Round 2. As usual, inmates, bear with me. I'm not much of a writer. The cycle was never ending. Hunt, kill, flee. City to city and town to town for centuries gone by. Finding the worst parts of whatever city it was this year, looking for the one house that everyone avoided, buying it, dirt cheap, and perpetuating the myth of the house's curse. For Jerry Dandridge, it was all so tedious. But this house was different. The locals wouldn't even walk on the same side of the street as this one. The realtor had mentioned its bloody history as an upscale apartment building in the 70s. Buried deep beneath a basement subfloor lay a skeleton rotten to the bone. Jimmy Bones was dead, but not forgotten. When the hound began to feed on Dandridge's leftovers, Jimmy began to feel like himself again. Singles competition, we have Jerry Dandridge versus Jimmy Bones, Jason. Get us your votes on paddedroompodcast.com. Just click the Terradome link, and you can click whichever person you think is going to win the fight.
The votes for that one will be up tomorrow.
Tomorrow, first thing in the morning, boys. Yep. Or you can get us on the regular old email, same place, or the mental health hotline. Those votes will count as double.
Or just use the contact form and send your vote in.
Do it however...
So many ways.
Whichever way you want to do it. And you can do it. I don't know. Can they do it 4 or 5 times? I don't know.
Well, we would prefer not.
We wish you would, but if you're really wanting, Jerry Dandridge to run away with this one. All right, that's your Terradome matchup for the weekend, mates. It's Jerry Dandridge versus Jimmy Bones. In the meantime, it's time for us to tell you what movies we got to watch this week in a little fucking segment called What Are You Looking At?
What are you dropping?
What are you looking at?
How about The Possession from 1981? Caught this on the last drive-in with Joe Bob. It is something, man. Like a 22-year-old Sam Neill trying to figure out why his wife is leaving him. But she keeps coming back to, like, do the laundry and make him dinner and stuff. Turns out she's fucking an octopus.
Oh, there it is.
And,
that'll do it.
Yeah. It's more psychological about him, like, prostrating himself in front of her and trying to get her to come back. And they have a son, and he just leaves the son alone for, like, 3 weeks. Son's, like, 5. And then, like, his...
Does the son resemble a squid in any kind of way?
No.
Okay.
But then, they, like, at the end, there's this bananas transformation situation. And I'm not sure I get it. Joe Bob did a pretty good job of breaking it down. Plenty of TNA in this one. The wife was pretty hot, and she's batshit crazy. If you want to see somebody fucking octopus,
well, you know I do.
You know where to go.
Plenty of Japanese sites.
That's well, yeah. There's that too. I watched that, and I watched Renfield from 2023.
Nice. What'd you think?
It's comedy, man.
Yeah.
You knew the minute that they said Nicolas Cage was playing Dracula that you were getting some comedy.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I had no hope of it being any kind of, horror film.
Our problem was that the comedy just didn't land for us.
I mean,
we don't know if we were just tired or
that could be.
What.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the funniest thing I ever saw, but I got some chuckles, like when Dracula shows up at Renfield's Art Deco apartment.
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh, there's so many bodies." Oh yeah, so many bodies, huh? I did like at the beginning when they kind of looped Nicolas Cage into the Bela Lugosi role.
Yeah, that
was kind of cool the way they did that. Action sequences were a bit silly, I thought.
Yeah, I like the gratuitous blood.
Sure, but I don't recall Renfield ever turning into a ninja warrior or anything.
No?
I could be wrong about that. I don't know. That's all I got to look at, buddy. How about you?
One little movie. Watch it today. Malum.
Oh, nice. Where did you find that, first off?
I rented it.
Amazon Prime?
Yep.
Very cool. What'd you think?
You're better off watching The Last Shift.
It's a remake, but it's like a reimagining.
By the same guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he just got a bigger budget and he wanted to take another
And
crack
I can
at it.
appreciate it. Now, I will say that, it looked like a lot more money went into, picture quality.
Okay.
Like, it looked crisper.
Okay.
Cleaner.
Sure.
Some pretty good stuff, and maybe I'm just not remembering Last Shift well enough, but to me, it seemed like there was a little too much story. Like they fleshed it out a little too much.
Okay.
To where it was just unnecessary.
In Malum or in Last
Malum.
Shift? Okay.
In Last Shift, it seems... Not that it's ambiguous. It's just that it's so much. It seems so much more spelled out in Malum.
Okay.
And it's just to the point of, okay, I get it.
Right.
Get on with the killing and get on with the gore and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Some decent effects. Some
Nice.
damn good blood. Like there's some really good colored blood. I'm kind of a dork for
texture guy.
Like real good, like crimson.
Looks bloody
blood
instead of
But then towards the end, you got this fucking hokey looking shit, and I don't know, man. I still give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay,
but it was more for visuals than movie and story itself.
You've got to watch The Last Shift or Malum.
I'm watching Last Shift.
Last Shift, okay.
Yeah,
I'll check it out. Right on, man. That is all we're looking at this week. How about some immersion therapy?
Yeah, boy.
Immersion therapy.
You ever go to like a Starbucks or a, I don't know, like your favorite fast food place, and you happen to get the one cashier or barista who clearly hates their job so fucking much that it kind of ruins your whole experience?
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe I got from Forest of Death.
Oh, yeah?
With the entire acting, the entire acting ensemble.
Man.
I have seen some bad acting, and I have seen some non-acting. This acting felt spitefully bad.
Yeah, especially, I don't remember their names,
It
but the
doesn't
one
matter.
doucher with like the prepubescent goatee looking thing.
Yeah, the top knot jammer.
And his really homely looking girlfriend.
Yes.
Man, they stink. They're fucking terrible.
Everybody in this movie sucked.
But they're especially.
They were really bad. Why would
awful.
you have them be like your protagonist?
Yeah.
You know? Switch out the rules.
And why would you have her be the one like he's all like hamming it up with her about her taking some pictures
right.
for her Tinder profile and all this shit and like how sexy she is and they're going to come across real good. Like use the other broad.
Yeah. Yeah. The one that couldn't keep her shirt on straight the whole time.
Maybe they just handed the scripts to the wrong people.
It could be. I'd hate to think that couldn't get fixed. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, you over here. I'm sorry.
Wait, you're the homely one.
Yeah, sorry. You're not as attractive. It's pretty dumb, man. I'm going to tell you to avoid Forest of Death.
Yeah.
I've seen
horrible acting aside.
It felt very much like they were trying to do The Thing in the woods, like with the skinwalker instead of an alien.
Yeah.
What? It just failed on so many levels. I get it. You don't have a lot of money for any kind of special effects. But just having the same actor pop in and be like, I'm going to kill you all now.
Hey, I'm another guy.
No, it's me again, but I'm still going to kill you. Come on.
It's not good.
Put some effort into it.
It's not
It's
good
not.
at all.
I'm going to say you skipped Forest of Death, boys.
3.5 out of 10 for me.
Oh, look at me. I picked a winner, didn't I? 3.5 out of 10. I actually would probably go like 2 out of 10. You could have saved us with some boobs. You didn't. Again, this falls into that kind of soulless, heartless horror movie.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to make a profit on this, and that's what they went with. And this is what we get. Bullshit. Your immersion therapy for this week is going to be Consecration from 2023. Find this bad guy streaming on Shudder. Check it out, inmates. We'll do the same and can compare notes next week. But now it is time to educate me.
Educating Miss Monica.
First, my clues from last week. I am stuck in a elevator in a Chicago high-rise, and there's 4 other people stuck in here with me, and I don't know, things are kind of weird all of a sudden. And then the lights go out, and then one of them is dead, and then the lights go out again, and another one is dead. The lights go out again, and the first dead guy pops back up. I am Devil from M. Night Shyamalan. Not the worst thing I've ever seen.
No, decent enough flick.
I think he kind of stabbed himself in the foot with all those crazy twists he was putting in. And now we're kind of expecting it, and when he shows up without one, we're like, hey,
yeah. But you're that guy.
Yeah.
Where's my twist?
Swap a gender or something. Make it time warp or I don't know. Who might I be this week, you ask?
We do ask.
Jason, I am a traveling magician. Not a very good one. I do a lot of like retirement homes, birthday parties, things like that. I was on my way to my next gig when my van broke down in the rural French countryside. Okay, it's going to need some work, obviously. I find my way to a village where these nutsack, rube French villagers have convinced themselves, they're all dudes, by the way, that I am the reincarnation of the one chick that they were all in love with. Now, I've got hard cocks coming at me left and right, and I got to fight my way out of this place. Who might I be, you ask? Tune in next week, and I'll drop some knowledge on you, inmates. In the meantime, I think that's about going to do it for us, Jay. Tune in next week for Dr. Giggles here in Terradome Month. We have a Patreon campaign running. Go to support.paddedroompodcast.com, and it'll take you right there. You'll see all of our swag tiers and different benefits you get from donating. Like, comment, subscribe wherever you found this show. Find out anything you need to know about us at paddedroompodcast.com. And I think that's about it. You got anything else on the week, buddy?
No, I think it's it.
All righty. 4, horny Frenchmen and the weird cabins they live in. Shitty, extra long elevator rides. Go into the hood when you probably shouldn't. No matter what kind of weird ecstasy party you're trying to score drugs for. And the Padded Room Podcast. I'm afraid visiting hours are over.
Bye.